Welcome to Football Film Review with Bennie Joppru and Michael Spath, reviewing the Michigan-Maryland game from last Saturday. And our first play is about 9:10 to go in the first quarter. And Michigan running a lot of zone early in the game. Here they get back to power.
Yeah, so we talked about last week that Michigan is going to keep on running this power scheme, counter scheme, out of a bunch of different formations. And here we see it with no fullback and 3 tight ends in the game. And they're going to swap responsibilities. The guard's going to pull and kick out the end this time instead of pulling for the front side linebacker. And the tight end McCune's going to come all the way around and get through to the front side linebacker. And he does a really good job of finding the hole here and finding his guy to block. And we pop it up inside there for a nice little gain. You
mentioned, too, you've been high on the tight ends, and Zach Gentry does a good job here sealing it off the edge, too.
Yes, the tight ends are doing a great job all year, and they kept on doing a great job this game as well.
Benny, the very next play for Michigan, 8:30 to go in the first quarter, and a little bit of a different look here, maybe a little bit of a read option, not that Brandon Peters is ever going to keep the ball, and a terrific job by Zach Gentry and Mason Cole.
Yeah, the Maryland front is going to move slant on us a little bit here, and Gentry does a great job, good footwork, just washes this guy down and creates a big hole, and Michigan showing more wrinkles in the run game, like you said earlier, with the read option. Highly unlikely that Peters was going to keep it, but just another wrinkle that Michigan shown earlier in the season, and they're showing again now.
And it looks like Mason Cole gets up to the second level, and we've talked about it multiple times. If you're going to have these bigger gains, you got to get up to the second level, and that's what he does here.
Yeah, he does a good job. He sees the slant, and he knows that linebacker is coming around, so he gets up on the front side linebacker and creates some more room for Chris Evans to run.
5:53 to go in the first quarter, and Maryland tries to run similar to what Minnesota had some early success against Michigan. Not quite a jet sweep, but having the wide receiver pull and trying to get to the outside and use speed, and Michigan just had no part of that.
Yeah, it's very similar to what Minnesota was doing last week. And you see Mike McCray here. He sees it on the motion. He's widening and attacking. He sees this play coming from a mile away and gets upfield and makes the receiver cut back up inside, and there's 2 guys sitting there waiting for him, Chase Winovich and Devin Bush. But Michigan obviously worked on this during the week, and great job defending it here.
38 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Maryland's already come up with a couple of really clever plays trying to take advantage of Michigan's aggressiveness, and here kind of they get one out to the outside, and Josh Metellus really blows this play up by coming hard down from a safety spot, and then his teammates rally the football for a big 14-yard loss.
Yeah, you'll see here Maryland tried to set up 2 picks on Mike McCray, and the picks work, but Josh Metellus is there, makes a good play, keeps his feet, keeps the offensive player in front of him, and the Maryland running back makes a bad decision and starts running backwards, and just shows Michigan here rallying to the football, and everyone's getting in on the tackle here. 6-7 guys surrounding the football.
14:45 to go in the second quarter, and sometimes the best play is not to extend it and throw the ball downfield, but just to throw to the guy that's right in front of him that gives a chance to get some positive yards. And here, Brandon Peters rolling out to his right, and instead of trying to throw it away or go downfield, he hits Cron Higdon, his outlet receiver, for a big gain.
Yeah, right off the bat here, Maryland has a free shot at Peters, who took a big one last week, and here he avoids the defender and keeps on kind of scrambling and is able to dump it off to Higdon, who does all the rest of the work here. And the receivers, once again, doing a great job downfield, blocking guys like they have been, especially the last 2 weeks.
What happens here at the right tackle position, too? Because this is the kind of one of the things we've been talking about. Jerome Bush-Obedi doesn't even see the defensive end. He thinks they're slanting, they're moving their protection to the left, and he just doesn't.
I think they're having a slide protection here, and some sort of miscommunication, because that shouldn't be happening. But I don't know what his blocking assignment was in that particular play. But you never want a free guy running at the quarterback.
11:25 to go in the second quarter, and as a former tight end, Benny, you had to really enjoy this. Especially number 83 was the one, Zach Gentry, getting about a 25-yard touchdown pass here.
Yeah, Michigan's going to come out, run 4 verticals after the change of possession here, after the fake punt that didn't work. And Michigan's been taking shots every time they get across the 40-yard line into the opponent's territory. We ran the same play 2 weeks ago against Minnesota, and we ended up checking it down to Higdon. And now on this play here, they're going to have a little different motion to it, but ends up being 4 verticals. Looks like Maryland had a little bit of a busted coverage, and Peters finds Gentry wide open, makes a good throw, and a touchdown for Michigan.
9:13 to go in the second quarter. It's our favorite play, Benny, that we talk about consistently, and this is the toss sweep. Michigan's gotten really good at these. Here they use Khalid Hill in motion to kind of play the position that the tight ends have done and seal this off the edge and allow the two pullers to get around the outside.
Yeah, Michigan started doing this quite a bit more, where they're actually going to pull the backside and the front side guard on the sweep here. They do a really good job getting out front. Khalid Hill gets up with the linebacker with Peoples-Jones. Peoples-Jones, gets up on the safeties. Mason Cole does a good job sealing off the edge. And then you have Shanley downfield getting a block there too. And Higdon runs through some arm tackles and picks up 12, 14 yards.
It didn't look as smooth as it has in the past, but you had more blockers than they had defenders, and that's all that you're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why you're pulling those two guys to gain an extra blocker over there.
Well, Benny, when you're running the ball as well as Michigan, it's consistently the last couple of games, and teams are geared towards defending the run near the goal line. They're not going to be ready for play action and rolling out and throwing to the tight end like Michigan does for its fourth touchdown of the game.
Yeah, Sean McCune here is going to come all the way across the formation, act like he's blocking Michigan with a great play action fake. And, Maryland doesn't have a prayer here of covering this. Michigan's been running the ball too well, and we've shown the same play before, and McCune comes wide open for a second touchdown of the year.
Yeah, how hard? I mean, when you see him pulling like that, and you saw him pull earlier, and that was a running play, how hard is it to think that it's anything other than a running play?
Yeah, that too. And the other, he gets through the traffic here is the other good thing. He could have it's easy to get caught up in the defenders and not be able to break free. And, he does a good job navigating the traffic and getting into the open.
2:54 to go in the second quarter. Maryland with its best chance, but when you get pressure and the quarterback here gets hit by Rashawn Gary, Josh Awuzie, sometimes you got to get rid of that ball early, and that leads to mistakes, and that leads to an interception here. Yeah,
the Maryland quarterback here under heavy pressure makes a throw, and David Long does a great job to falling off his guy and able to make a play on the football and a great return. But like you said, the pressure really affected the Maryland quarterback all day, and especially here on this play. Resulted in a long, much overdue Michigan interception.
And you've talked before about David Long about one of the things he does well is that he will recognize sometimes about coming off his man to make a play.
Yeah, he does a really nice job here, just kind of falling back, realizes they need to throw the ball in the end zone here on 3rd and goal. He's playing smart football, makes a aggressive return here out of the end zone 5 yards deep and brings it back almost 80 yards.
11:20 in the third quarter, Benny, and if there's a concern about the Michigan defense, especially as they get ready to play J.T. Barrett and Ohio State in a couple of weeks, is that they've really struggled with the read option. Here's another big gain for an opponent running the read option and keeping it with the quarterback.
Yeah, it's been the read option has been giving us issues all season. Typically we're giving up one big run a game to the read option, and you got to give credit to the Maryland quarterback here. He does a great job. Carrying out the fake here really fools the defense. You can see Mike McCray thinks the running back has it for a second, and when he realizes the quarterback has the ball, it's too late, and he's down the field for a 25, 26-yard gain.
Well, if you notice, too, it looks like obviously Devin Bush is in man coverage because he takes himself out of the box and fouls one of the running backs out of the play. Yeah,
really well-designed play and really well executed. You can't say enough about the fake, the mesh of the quarterback and the running back there.
5:40 to go in the fourth quarter, and they put together a scoring drive here, and a nice run by Chris Evans. Shows off a lot of athleticism, some great blocking by the tight ends.
Yeah, really good job. Sean McCune comes across the formation, kicks out the defensive end. Bushel Beatty does a great job on the front side, and then Gentry does a wonderful job staying with his guy and creating the block that's going to spring the run, allow the run to get around the corner. And this is how hard this is. A block this is for Sean McCune to make it. He makes it look really, really easy.
Yeah, and Chris Evans, you just can't teach what Chris Evans does sometimes.
Yeah, the nice little hurdle.
2:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Our final play we're going to do, Benny, and something we haven't seen from Michigan yet this year, kind of like a delayed draw that allows Mason Cole to get out in front and block for Chris Evans.
Yeah, we haven't seen Michigan run the draw very much at all this year, and here near the end of the game, Michigan decided to take a look at this play. And it's blocked up pretty well. Guys getting downfield. Mason Cole does a nice job pretty much blocking two people. And you can see Kugler down there getting downfield as well.
Ian Bunting, and Chris Evans was big for Michigan in the second half and in the fourth quarter especially, kind of solidify this one. Well, that was our plays this week. We'll be back next week to break down the Michigan-Wisconsin game.